Hello, hello.
Hey, baby.
Are we ready to do this thing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ready as we'll
always.
ever be.
Hey, I love it. I love chatting with you, chatting it up, and all our listeners.
I know. Here I am.
Welcome back to the Long Haul Married Roadcast, everybody.
My big old blanket. It's freezing in here.
It's actually warm. I would say it's perfect temp, but you just got out of the 45-degree water.
I did, and that's my own fault. And I stay warm.
So far,
I mean,
everything's
stay
warming
freezing.
up. I usually do the dunk and then go walk, but I walked today, then did the dunk. So my hands and feet are still a little cold.
A little chilly.
A little chilly.
All right, but spring
Warm it
is
up.
upon us. We've just gotten into daylight savings time, which we love.
Why did they change it?
I don't know.
I know
You told me there's somewhere that's not going to change it now.
They're done. They said they
Who
just
is
changed
that?
their clocks for the last time. I can't remember. I'd be lying if I told you. Some country said, that's it. Was it the UK?
I don't remember.
But yeah, we and if I left it alone, I'd leave it like this.
What do you love about daylight savings time?
I like when I get up, it's still dark no matter what time before I'd have to get up like early and it's dark and then you feel productive like, man, I'm getting up. And but if I now it's daylight savings time. Who's that? That's a new dog in our neighborhood.
See the sunrise.
So see the sunrise. Yeah, and then but that's the secondary thing is feeling like you're productive because you're getting up before the sun comes up. I love the daylight when you're done. Everybody gets off work and then you still have time to take the kids to the park or take the grandkids to the park, as it were, for us. Get outside, enjoy just a beautiful evening. The sunset is a little later. And yeah, I love it. I just love having more time at the end of the workday, quote unquote, to enjoy the daylight hours.
It seemed last night like it was light forever.
Yeah.
I've wondered about some of these, these young parents with kids, how it may jack up their nap schedules or bedtime schedules.
Chance that they got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too. I love it.
We love this time of year.
So let's just keep it that way. Yeah, I don't like screwing with the circadian rhythm. And I like, keeping the sleep schedule. I mean, it's the best to do that for your body and your energy and all that. So just leave it.
Yeah. I think
leave it alone.
Definitely the older I get, I would say just in the last couple of years for me, I've taken my sleep much more seriously. So
seriously, you have a little Aura ring that records it.
I do. And I look at my sleep score every morning. And sometimes I agree usually with the sleep score because it is what it is. But when it tells me my readiness, if it's lower, usually my readiness is about, 84 to 89, which is weird because that seems like, oh, that's not a very good grade.
That's a B plus.
But it is. It's as far as Aura rings and all that they put into that score, that's actually a pretty good score. Sometimes it'll even say like optimal, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just make it the 100% scale so you could know if you got an A, B, C, or D.
I don't know, but
I'd be flunking. They'd say, good try, buddy. You need to go back to bed for another 4 hours.
There are some times that my sleep score is lower and I feel it. Like I can tell, because either I went to bed later the night before, didn't sleep as well during the night, or maybe just a lot of activity the day before.
Yeah.
It also accounts your HRV, your heart rate variability, and like maybe your heart rate was elevated for a good portion of the day or the night. Anyway, it accounts for all that. But I will say that there are some days that I wake up and it gives me some kind of lower sleep score than I deem correct. And I'm like, you're not the boss of me if I'm ready or not to take on the day. I will make that choice right here and right now. You are not going to tell me.
You just take the ring off.
Just take
I'll
this
show
ring
you.
off.
I'll just put you on the hook.
Don't
leave you in the little charger.
Oh, anyway.
Well, you look a little rested today.
A little rested.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say just like optimal prime over there, but
let's talk about the difference in how we both wake up, shall we?
Sure.
I would say if I had to describe my waking up, it is low and slow, quiet, just kind of calm.
That's
takes me
That's
a
me
little
too.
bit.
I'd do that. I'd say that.
Okay, so why don't you pick some words to describe your wake up?
Hit the ground running, ready to roll.
That is about right.
Yeah. And I mean, recently the old man hip got a little hip pain, keeping me up at night, kind of screaming, saying, "Hey, you need to get up." Oh. It's weird. Doesn't hurt that bad during the day, but man, just laying down. I'm a side sleeper.
We got to get
sleep on the right side. It hurts. If I try to roll over and sleep on the good side, I still feel it. The right side's feeling like it's hanging on me. Man, it's old.
More and more like our grandparents all the time.
Got to sleep with the pillow between my legs and rig up one behind my hip. And then that means it shoves me forward. Then I got to have another one to prop up my body. And then the other one behind my head. So yes, that's 4 pillows. I got a 4 pillow system. And trying to get all those rigged in the middle of the night, I'm like tearing muscles and stuff, ripping tendons. Yeah, I get all ready. I'm like, and I'm just,
gosh,
yeah, it's bad.
It is bad. Well, I'll say we're not trying to like live forever, but we are trying to do anything and everything we can to assist us in living a healthy, full, long life. You know,
who's that dude? Have you seen the dudes saying that he's showing the chart about aging. He said, it's not years. It's just it's your cells getting old. And so if you can figure out a way to hack the cells, then it's reverse aging. I mean, they're talking about that's coming. I don't know if I want to live forever.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to live forever, but I would.
I mean, we do live forever. Eternity is a long time.
True.
It's already begun. We're already in it. You just switch bodies, right? But I'm kind of ready to see what's next.
No, don't say that.
No, I mean not in a bad way.
I know. I just don't like you to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like getting in those states of kind of excitement, and I think the older you get, the math is not on my side as far as being. I'm not long for this world, I say, when I'm hitting the sack every night. It was funny when Carson came down and said, "Not long for this world." When we were kind of stirring, getting rid of the blankets and putting the recliners down, turning off Netflix.
No, it's really hard for me to think about, and I can let my mind go there, but like what would happen if I didn't have you, if you weren't here? And I think, man, it would be so quiet and just...
It's just, there's such a curiosity now with all the studies they're doing with quantum physics and quantum mechanics and consciousness and how all that's converging and the stuff that we just are, we intuited or you believed as a Christian, but now they're finding out it's true. And so just knowing that, I love the story that Harvard, dude who was an atheist and he had a near-death experience and supposedly was dead for I don't know how long and then came back. And he's basically, if he's, 2 things, you're well taken care of forever and you're more loved than you could ever know.
Wow.
And like it's taken away any kind of fear of death. And people, all report that and they come back and they're like, whether they saw a light or not, it's like, man, if I would have known this, I would have never feared it.
Yeah.
Some of these hospice workers that tell stories that are all so common, they've seen it literally hundreds of times, and a lot of them don't talk about it or didn't because they didn't want to sound crazy. But even the ones who did, now we're hearing more of them because of social media. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in that curious, man, what's next? Because we know we go on.
Yeah.
But what does that look like? Am I going to be, a mushroom out there, fungus under the earth, pushing up, dirt and be part of that ecosystem? Or will I remember this, the continuity piece? Yeah. We're not drops in the ocean. We are the ocean. When the wave comes in and crashes. So that individuality, it feels like me, the sense of self. But, so the wave, when it breaks and crashes on the shore, then it just goes back in. It's like, that's us, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a comforting thought to some. It's, I guess, kind of scary for some and claustrophobic. I'm getting closer to losing the fear.
Yeah.
The existential
I don't think
dread.
that I wouldn't describe it as fear for me. I would describe it as a deep sadness, and I picture
the people here missing Papa now, the grandkids, and I picture me missing out on the stuff that I want to do and want to see with the grandkids.
That's exactly what gets me.
My mom, before she passed, for our listeners, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, then was in, quote, remission, scare quotes, 4 or 6 years. And then it came back, and when it metastasized, anyway, it was all over her. And before she passed, I asked her a couple things, but the one I'll never forget, I said, so knowing what you know now, if you had it to do over, what would you do differently? And she didn't even bat an eye, and she said, I would not have taken everything so seriously. And that has served me very, very well. And then, but the thing that made sense is at the time Survivor was like a big, thing in the culture, that TV show. And she said, I just feel like I've been voted off the island.
Wow. Goodness gracious.
You just feel like, it's like, wow, the lifeboat, it only has room for so many. And like she got kicked out.
And how old was she again when she passed? Do you remember?
I want to say 63 or 4.
Which I think at the time,
so young,
just felt we're so young. And that seemed older. And now it's 3 years older than you are now.
It could have been 66, 67, but I think it was, I should know that. But I'm thinking still around 60. I get it mixed up because Meemaw passed away early as well. So good. Glad we got a family history.
Oh, man. Okay. So if you think about that, what you just shared about with your mom, as she was passing, she wouldn't have taken everything so seriously. If you had to go back right now, you're 60. If you had to go back and tell your 30-year-old self, so that's 30 years ago, and Chandler would have been 2, and she would have been our only one until, Christian came along very shortly thereafter.
Popped up.
And then Corbin, and then Carson several years after that. So if you had to go back to that 30-year-old little kid, what would you say to him right now?
The first thing, and you've heard this over and over, but I would tell him, as far as the vein of not taking things so seriously, I wouldn't have taken finances so seriously. The fear or the worry of lack, the fear of finances and not being enough and not having enough and worried about the future, because that, here we are, 30 years later, never missed a meal unless I voluntarily fast, but always had the roof over our head, have our family, the people we love and who love us, which is now the only important thing. But you're in the throes of, you're raising the kids and they're all it's like, dadgum, now we get pads and, uniforms, and we got to travel all over the place and put them in this sport and that sport. And, we got to pay for this and that. And then you think about weddings coming up, and then you think about college, and all that stuff's reality. But those months, if you just parse it into those 30-day periods where you're worried about the, more month at the end of your money, and it's like, okay, I could be worried, which that fear turned into anger for me, and some, control issues around spending, and I could be worried and let that come out as anger, or I could say, you know what, we're going to be fine. But at the end of the month, we were the same no matter what. So why not choose to just be okay? And it's easier said than done. But so one of my affirmations that I say every morning when I'm in the cold plunge is, money nor the fear of lack of money will drive me nor influence my thoughts, feelings, or emotions. And so you say that out loud, and it's over and over, and you may think, well, what does that do? That's wishful thinking. But when I say money nor the fear of lack of money will influence me or guide my thoughts, feelings, or emotions. It's accountability. So when I find myself starting to kick into that gear, that worry gear, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Money nor the fear of lack of money will guide me nor influence my thoughts, feelings, or emotions.
And I've literally watched that happen in you in this last year and a half for sure.
So that's the first thing I would say is just, man, hey, enjoy it. You're going to be well taken care of, and God is your provider. And does that mean it's easy? Does that mean you'll have a ton of money? No. It doesn't mean sometimes you'll struggle financially. It means you may have to make some decisions and get rid of stuff and sell stuff, downsize, change your lifestyle, whatever. But you will be fine. And just choosing not to worry about it. Because for men, many times that fear, then it can turn into anger, because there's that provider thing, and we feel shame if we're not providing enough, or if I'm not a good provider. What will my family think of me? What will people think of me? What will I think of me? So that's the first thing I would say to my 30-year-old self. Hey, dude, it's going to be fine. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. It's like I picture, I think the first time I did one of those lazy rivers was it La Cantera or Wild Oaks Ranch, whatever, in San Antonio. I just remember the inner tubes with this fast flowing, the lazy river. So you've got the flowing water, and you can get in that thing and you can try to be Tarzan and swim upstream, or you can just hop up in the inner tube and just pick your feet up and just go with the flow. And if you can think about life as this flow, and God's got you, and He's got a plan and a purpose for your life, and you can pick up your feet and enjoy the ride. Hey, if eternity's already begun, we're already in it. Sometimes I used to think, I'm living now, I die, and then eternity starts later. But if you're in it, and you're well taken care of, and you're well loved, His love is eternal. We never die. Why not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Right? So that's
good.
Yeah.
I have watched you grow in that so much, really, in this last year and a half. And honestly, I think so much of it was walking away from 2 paychecks and starting long haul marriage. And there's nothing you can do but trust. You actually jumped off the cliff, and you're like, okay, it's a do or die. Here we go. And so it's either, you go nuts so crazy and go back to, whatever, or no, we feel called to this, and we believe that God's going to provide however that's going to show up, Anyway, I've just watched you really grow in that. And I think that daily affirmation that you say every single day, probably multiple times a day, I see that coming to fruition in your life,
Yeah, it'll try to pop up. It does. A little whack-a-mole tries to pop his head up again. I just got to whack him back down.
Yeah.
And but that and those affirmations really, really help, because I believe it, and I've said it over and over, and I'm starting to agree so much with my affirmations that I say they've become they will manifest in your life, and it's that cool, quantum, superposition, that 2 options exist at the same time. Those 2 possibilities are with every particle, right, is existing until it's observed, and then it collapses into one. And so it's like, what are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? What are you observing? What are you thinking about? What are you fearing? What are you expecting? And now, like you said, not only did we jump, and no net kind of thing. But now, because we're doing it, and because, yes, we were called and we are loving it, I'll do anything now, like God, because I believe He will, and by that I mean, if I had to, get a side hustle or 2, to support this ministry, as I think we're all having to look for. It's like, whatever I have to do, God's creative. He created us in His image. We're creative. We've got a lot of options. And so I know I will do anything to make this, to continue doing this, because we love it. And because we just feel like we're making a difference in the lives of so many families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, and this has to do with what we're talking about, but also it kind of goes on a little side rant. But in all of those years, as you were a 30 something, we were raising our kids, and you had this kind of, the financial burden was always kind of your Achilles heel, is what we say. One thing I do appreciate is that we always took a trip, like with the kids, like took a little vacay with them. And I'm so thankful when I look back and I just think about the memories that we created with them, and how that probably that feeling of your financial, that's like the last thing that you think
I probably thought we never could afford it. And I was fearful. What are we doing? This is crazy. It's not like we went,
It's not like we took any lavish vacations, but it was a priority. One time a year, we would try to do something. Sometimes maybe 2 times a year. Maybe sometimes on spring break, and then maybe something else summertime. I don't know, but it wasn't anything lavish. Remember the time we went to someone we knew had a home, had a timeshare, all these different places. And we went to Tennessee.
They handed us this catalog, and you could pick. It was this thick catalog, and you could pick anywhere in it. And so one year we did literally Orlando. We took the kids did. It's like all paid for, right? And we went to Orlando, Florida, to Disney. And then this next year, then we did Pigeon Forge.
So we go to Tennessee. And
it was like, what is this?
The place we picked.
It was like an old folks.
It was like a senior living little neighborhood.
But remember the tree house?
It was so much fun.
And doing the rapids.
We rode
Christian doing the bull and flying off the front of that thing, and the stage 4 rapids. And it's not even the place or the what we did. Those memories, kids will still talk about those family times, because
and we
it's just us
drove
together
everywhere. Maybe we flew with the kids once or twice. I can't even barely remember flying with them, but we drove most everywhere we went, because that saved some money. So anyway, all that to say, that's a side note, but come at me, Dave Ramsey. I know he would say this is the worst advice anyone could ever give you, but even if you think you can't afford it, somehow figure out how to take the trip. So sorry, Dave, not sorry. Wow. I would never go back and trade those times for anything. I guess
we're going to lose our Dave Ramsey sponsorship.
Well,
he was just about to start giving monthly.
Kick back in. Oh
no, that's good. That's great advice. So so what would you tell besides take the trip? What's something else you would tell your 30-year-old self?
I think I would. It's hard to know, because I think, this is with the wisdom that I know at 58 years old. So the girl at 30 was just trying to keep living.
Right. But that's the point. We're we've got some years on us. And so with the wisdom
that I have now, I would go back and tell that girl, hey, instead of just blowing and going and just being productive. And I feel like, man, we loved raising our kids, and we had a great family growing up, and so much of that, I don't regret and I wouldn't change. But I think just personally myself, not as a wife, not as a mom, but just as me, I would have done more to be in touch with my inner self, be in touch with who I am, be in touch with ways to stay grounded and rooted and centered and regulated, all of those words that now are so important and vital to me. Yeah. I didn't know about that stuff. I didn't think about that stuff back then. So I feel like most of the time I just waltzed around, just living life, and doing the next thing, like kind of a customer service call center, just tending to the next need and just bopping around here, there, and everywhere. And although it was, a fun, really just incredible life. I loved being a mom. I loved our family, but I feel like, and I do feel like I tried to be intentional about creating moments and memories. And I think we always did that. But I wish that I would have known now more about taking time to ground yourself and to stop in the middle many times during the day and say, okay, take a breath. Where are you holding stress?
Right.
Like, let it go. And, not responding to things or reacting to things as much as being proactive or being calm. Anyway, I don't know if any of that's making sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I just don't know anyone at that age, especially back in those days, 3 decades ago, there weren't a lot of people around us talking about like self-care, soul care, like, and the people who were, the mindfulness practices or meditation or some of that stuff, we would have said that's woo-woo.
They're like
they would have probably been, I know for me, we would have been sheltered from like looking at that stuff and thinking about that, because they were kind of weird. They were out there. Yeah. It may have seemed like it was, counter to some of our Christian beliefs even. Which, but
like just super crunchy. And now I feel like, okay, the crunchier, the better these days for us,
Yeah. I just remember even some of the stuff when I said, and I just changed the subject because I didn't want to get into, but some of what would have been termed when I got a little older, a new agey. And when you realize that everything is spiritual, right? And you look at spirituality. Now what I realize when you get into that, it's just a different vocabulary. It's just different words to describe many times the very same thing. And many times because I missed out on that. We just weren't paying attention to it. And so I don't know any of our friends back in those days that were practicing any of that.
Yeah, I think things have changed so much, but I'm so grateful now for what I do know. And I think that's why, as much as I can possibly can, when I can spend some time with women, whether it be, one-on-one in sessions or my own kids or at Evergreen Women's Retreat, that's a big part of my message is coming home to yourself. What does that look like? What can that do for you to learn how to encourage yourself, not wait for something else or someone else to encourage you or to help navigate, to yourself to peace and to calm and to joy and to hope, that it doesn't really matter what's going on around you. You can find that when you kind of learn things for yourself of what to tap into. I
think I would have looked, if I can look back and talk to my 30-year-old self, I would say you have a lot more options than you think. You, even when you've made your choice of, careers or jobs or who you think you are and what you're good at or what you do, you are more of a creator. Again, God created you, and inside of you, He gave you that way to design your life, to create your life. And so you can wait for Him to, download your purpose, if you will, or you can start taking responsibility for the things in your life and go for the way He's created you, your skills, your competencies, the things that light you on fire, man, and go pursue those and see what happens. And that, neuroplasticity is a real thing. And again, as we said before, when you look at, superposition, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to focus on this. And then when I focus on that, maybe that is the reality that I'm going to experience rather than what I've always experienced. I think just sometimes we get put in a mental jail because of history and maybe what we've inherited. Maybe we even resent what we've inherited. Well, sounds good for you, but look at me, kind of what we inherited. Well, okay, guess what? You can change it. And so many times, even me, as idealistic as I can be, and even I could also be cynical about, dude, we're screwed. This system that we inherited, like, man, who created this? Who created the, 5-day work week and 9 to 5 and, just capitalism and blah, 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 blah. And hear me, I'm not against that. It's as far as, capitalism, but it's, sometimes we think this is stupid, man. Who created that? Why did we do this? Why can't we live life? And why have we focused on work and productivity and all that? And we may feel like, well, I wouldn't have created it that way. And we may feel in jail to that or chained to that. Many young people, when they start to see the reality of that, they resent it. Like, wait, y'all are stupid. Why'd you hand me this? I would tell them, yes, you have to operate within systems sometimes that you didn't create and you wouldn't have created and you don't like, and you may feel stuck. But man, when Jesus said the kingdom is within you, there are so many things that are within us. And when he says, I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, like, dude, there's some abundance waiting for you and within. And it's like, we can choose it. And so I would just say, yeah, you have a lot more freedom than you think you do. And so go and cooperate with God and align with him and say, okay, Lord, give me freedom and let me, bust out of any chains that I think I may be in, right? We're freedom, Galatians, right? So yeah, that's one. The other thing for me, it would be time. I mean, as much as, and we've talked about it before, how, when you go through the loss of a child, that can galvanize you as far as what is important in your life. The value, we already had family as a very high value, but when you realize just the brevity of life and how, the fragility, if you will, and how just 1 minute somebody's here and maybe the next they're not. So I think we always prioritize that, but nothing galvanized us more than when we saw how short life can be. And so we just thought we want to have no regrets. So we poured, I think, so much time and energy into our kids. And even with that, it's still, and you hear all the old timers say this, you blink and it's over.
Yeah.
And so I would tell the 30-year-old, like, yeah, it sucks when you're boiling mouthpieces again, and when you're going to the little school program and you're sitting there in the stands at the basketball game or the soccer field or watching the tennis match or seeing them, which I love football, everyone, but all of a sudden it's like, wait, that's the last senior program?
Yeah.
Wait, that's the last clap out? That's the last rose ceremony? Yeah. Wait a minute, that's the last time we gave them lunch money?
Don't make me cry.
That's the last game? That's the last practice I'll ever take them to? Wait, we're not driving to Whitesboro or we're not going to Salina tonight?
Yeah.
And so I remember getting to that and thinking, wait, there's no like dress rehearsal? That was it?
That's it.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
And so just enjoy every minute. Don't do the as soon as disease. Well, as soon as they, as soon as they're out of these diapers, man, as soon as they can walk, as soon as they could, drive, as soon as they're in middle school, as soon as they're in, just enjoy the beautiful mess. The whole thing. Enjoy it all, because man, and then if you invest correctly, then when they are, it's not empty nest, it's open nest.
Yes.
And you get to see them and you get to play with your grandkids. And now what's interesting is, as sure as I say all that stuff, just man, it's over.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm thinking about, okay, what's Ruru going to do? What are Max and Georgia and Shar? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to be into? How many fields and programs and dance recitals and gymnastics? How many things are we going to be going to?
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
So I posted something I wanted to read. I posted it yesterday on my stories. I saw somewhere, but talking about the, kind of the everyday. And I said something like, what we see as mundane is actually the miracle of the daily. Like it's a gift, So this says, I wash the dishes and the next day the sink is full again. I sweep the house and the next day it is dusty again. I cook today, knowing that tomorrow I will need to cook again. I care for the baby, knowing he will cry again and depend on me again. And at some quiet moment, the heart asks in silence, what is the meaning of all of this if it never ends? But life is not made of great events every day. Life is built in the ordinary that repeats itself. in the unseen service, in the quiet care that no one applauds. There is a modern lie that says only what is new, extraordinary, and visible has value, but God has always worked through the ordinary. Bread came down every day. The manna was not given for the whole month. It was given for today. Mm-hmm. The daily care of the house, the meals, the children, these are acts of obedience lived in silence, and that is not small in the eyes of God. Perhaps holiness is not found in doing grand things, but in doing well the things that must be done every day, even when no one sees, even when it is tiring, even when tomorrow the sink will be full again. God sees, and that is enough. And more than that, if tomorrow there are dishes to wash, it means there was food today. If there is a baby to care for, it means God entrusted a soul into your hands. What looks like mere repetition is, in truth, a quiet sign of the providence of God.
Man, that's great.
Isn't that beautiful?
Well said.
Oh, so
said.
True.
That's good.
So true.
I think the other two things that kind of go hand in hand, now being 60 and still, I used to say all through my 50s, man, I still feel 28 inside. I gotta say, I probably feel 38 inside now at least. but still having the passion, still having energy. So I would tell that guy, forget about this again, the fear, this all goes in with finances too, retirement. And I get it, man. You're going to slow down. You may not be able to do the things that you could do physically, but man, I see people retire and they get sedentary and they die. You got to have a passion. You got to have a purpose. And so I would just say, strike the word retirement from your vocabulary and just, okay, you need to, not work for the corporation you were and take your, 401k and invest. And, maybe you can go fishing and play golf, but there's only so many rounds of golf you can play. Right. So I would say, don't worry about retirement. Just figure out something you want to do and just keep doing that. And, again, change it up. You may have different seasons of life and it's not, you're just the creativity of the next chapter and what that can be. So I would say, but to be able to do that, you have to be healthy. So I would tell the guy to eat a little bit better, the stuff that can accumulate. You're going to take care, you're going to spend the money in the early days on, working out and supplements and taking care of some of the, doing the things to maybe eating a little bit better and working out. And again, when I say spend the money, you're either going to spend it early or you're going to spend it later on the doctor bills. And, but even then, so many people, did not take care of their health. And I mean, good night. It's so hard in the toxic environment, no judgment. But I would tell the guy, dude, your body, yes, it's going to wear out someday and it's not meant to go forever as we started off, but try to do everything you can to keep that well-oiled machine, to do the every 3,000 mile oil changes at least. Take care of the normal maintenance and try to avoid the toxic stuff. Yeah,
and I would say take care of your spirit too and your soul, because so many times people may, like, they're working out and they do, but they don't prioritize their mental health or their emotional or spiritual health. And so we know all those things are integrated. Yep. So
that's good. Well, man, what a great, how did we think of this one today? I don't think we did. Okay, so I'm about to need to go to the bathroom, so we're going to wrap it up. But you know what I love about daylight savings time?
Tell me. I have a feeling.
Because the sun goes down later.